I've owned quite a few animation programs to get to where I am today, basically all the ones people talk about online. And Blender.
You use Blender for 2D animation? What the heck?
We'll get to that! Anyway, since I've used and tested all of these applications in the past, I've decided to talk about each one and say which one each person should get. Let's get to it! No, I don't think Flipaclip is straight dog crap, quite the opposite actually. You see, the reason a lot of people say this is to either A, get clicks on their videos, B, get a reaction, or C, the only viable answer, the price change. Anyway, Flipaclip is an app you can get on the Play Store or App Store and is primarily used for short animations. I mean, it was. You see, back in the day, Flipaclip was so much better because, being a phone app, of course there's going to be a premium. It was $10 and it was a one-time purchase. You do not realize how good this is compared to now. Now, Flipaclip is a subscription for some reason. It's now $5.99 USD a month, or $30 USD a year, which may not look like that much, but for Flipaclip, it isn't worth it. Wait a second, I'm being told that there's new features to justify this paid experience? Well, what is it? All the features the original premium had, and Magic Cut. One new feature that removes an object from a background. And that's why I can't recommend the subscription to anyone. But we have hope. There is a free version of Flipaclip. It removes a lot of features, but for those who are just starting out in animation, I think it's really good. You see, the free version of Flipaclip is intended for making short animations. This is perfect for people getting into the medium because they should only be making short test cartoons. I think that's sort of the reason the app is called Flipaclip. Flipbooks are intended for short animations, just like Flipaclip. So as a beginner software, I recommend the free version of Flipaclip. Also, I recommend getting a stylus because a cheap one can cost like $8, and it is worth it. Flipaclip was the app I used to make a lot of my first cartoons, so I have a soft spot for it. And since I bought the premium back in the day, I still technically have it, so that's a bonus. For me. Anyway, next! Many people know Blender as a based animation software, being 100% free and still being able to make high quality animations. There's no wonder people would gravitate towards it. No subscription, no premium, just humble donations. But there's a problem. This video is for 2D animation softwares, not 3D. And although Blender has a 2D option, it's mainly used for 3D modeling, animation, and rigging. In Blender, it's 3D first, 2D second. But I mean, it is free, so I might as well check it out again. You see, I've used Blender in the past for 2D animations, and I didn't like it because I thought it was buggy and had a bunch of weird quirks. What quirks? I don't remember, so I'll make an animation in it today. Hey, Future Boss here. In the making of this video, I went through my old Blender files to find the animation test and animatic I did 2 years ago. And I found 2 more animations I don't even remember making, so that freaked me out a bit. I also drew Peter Griffin for some reason. I didn't even watch Family Guy growing up, I don't know why this happened, back to the video. Okay, I remember why I didn't like animating in Blender. It's very different from other programs. Here are some of the quirks I didn't like. I believe auto keyframe can't be turned off, which basically means if I want to draw on the canvas, but I'm not on the exact frame, it'll create a new frame. Also, this is the only way to make keyframes for some reason. When you make a shape, you have to click enter for it to go through, and moving around keyframes is very awkward because it's very hard to select a specific keyframe and you might accidentally select keyframes you didn't want to select. Also, you can play your cartoon backwards. I thought that was pretty cool. Look, I may not have used Blender much, but that's only because I was fortunate enough to be able to pay for these 2 programs. Blender is a great alternative for people who leveled up from Flipaclip or some other kind of scuffed program and want something more professional. Blender's great, I just couldn't get into it. If you want to learn how to use Blender and its many quirks in a single afternoon, I recommend this tutorial by Jesse J. Jones. It makes it extremely easy to follow along with and even shows you how to make a bouncing ball. If you want an affordable drawing tablet that can hook up to a computer, laptop, an iPad or tablet, I recommend the XP Pen Deku 01 version 3 or the XP Pen Deku 03. Both products constantly go on sale on Amazon and will be linked in the description. Now on to the paid software, starting with the one I like less. I'll just get the elephant out of the room. Adobe is one of the most greedy corporations I've ever seen. $30 a month for an animation program is absolutely diabolical. That's $360 a year. A year! What happened to one-time purchases?
But this is the software all my favorite YouTubers use. It's the one Alan Becker himself recommended.
I don't give a crap! Ugh, fine. I'll cover the software. Listen, if you have money you can spend on a software but not freaking burn, skip to this timestamp of the software I recommend the most. Now let's discuss Adobe Animate. I had Animate for a year before realizing how much money I was spending and then canceling my subscription. In the time I had it, I can safely say that it was a very good animation program. That might seem like a 180 to what I was previously saying, but hear me out guys. The price for Adobe Animate? Ooh. The software? Dude. There is a reason why Animate is used by so many of your favorite YouTubers. It's easy to learn with many UI templates while also being customizable, tweening is very great, has a not bad camera, and now time for the big one, symbols. A symbol in Adobe Animate is basically, you know what, forget it. Let's have Alan Becker explain it, he used Adobe much more than me.
The most powerful tool in Flash is the symbol. To review, a symbol is a graphic, button, or movie clip that you create once, and then you can reuse it throughout your document, and any edits you make to the symbol will update in all other copies of it. However, changing the size or color effect of one copy of a symbol will only affect that copy.
As great as Animate is, many people just can't afford it, including me. However, if you're still one of the people who can afford Adobe Animate and can continue to pay for it sustainably, I still don't think you should pay a single penny to Adobe. Paying for their subscription just shows them that they can keep making scummy business practices right in front of us, the consumer, and get away with it. It's just so evil. Sorry if this part of the video felt a bit preachy, but we move. Side note about Adobe Animate, sometimes when you draw a stroke of your drawing and your hand shakes a bit, the program will try to smooth out the line, but sometimes it would glitch, leaving it looking ugly. Thought I might as well include that little nitpick while we're still here.
But Bossert, I understand not wasting your money on an unsustainable subscription, but I still want to animate professionally.
Oh buddy, do I have an app for you! Okay, I know when you open the website, it doesn't look very Western friendly, but that's because Clip Studio Paint is used to make a lot of animes. And lackadaisy. Now hear me out. I think Clip Studio Paint is the best consumer-friendly animation software. But why though? Let's start with the pricing, which is a bit more complicated than expected. The first thing you see when you open the purchase screen is two options, one that says Pro and one that says EX. For animation, you're going to have to get X because Pro is mainly used for just illustrations and at most animated GIFs. EX costs $76.99 USD for a year, $8.99 USD for a month, or $258 USD as a one-time purchase. Do I even need to explain why this is so much better than Adobe Animate? To make it even better, Clip Studio Paint constantly goes on sale for like 60% off. This usually happens at times like Christmas, back to school, summer, and I think more. But if you're still not sure about the price for any of these options, there is a 6-month free trial. That is half a year you get this program for free instead of the industry standard of a month. A big positive for Clip Studio Paint is that it isn't just an animation software, but also an art and comic making software. It's great. I hear you say,
same with like most animation softwares, you just have to export a single frame.
yeah? Well, answer me this. Do most animation softwares include a marketplace with a bunch of free tools, templates, and tutorials? Don't answer that, I didn't do my research. In conclusion, if you want to get into animation, start with Flipaclip. If you like it, get a cheap drawing tablet and start using Blender on your broken all laptop. If you think you're ready to start spending more money, don't spend a single cent on any Adobe product, get the 6-month free trial for Clip Studio Paint, and then see if you want to get Clip Studio Paint's one-time purchase. I know I didn't cover every animation software, but these were the ones I used and see a lot of creators use. Anyway, see ya!